It's just up late because of the kids. Usually they're up early.
Hey, a father of two or a mother of two should never apologize. Kids come first, and that's a good thing. And yeah, that's priority number one. So I totally get it.
Awesome, awesome. It's been a while since we spoke.
Yeah, it has, it has. But I figure, this way we get bigger chunks of Alana's development.
Yeah, I think last time we spoke was before I went to Turkey again, and
Yep,
that was interesting. Um,
I bet.
yeah,
I,
just of all the reasons why our deal there might not work, Michael, me not getting
mhm,
on a plane was not going to be one of them.
right,
So
of
that's
course.
basically what it was. But I can tell you, Alana's she's growing, starting to chart development for Logan too, which is not surprising. But like I remember at this point when Alana was 6 months or 7 months old, I thought she'd never learn a thing. I couldn't see that she had learned anything. But now I'm not worried about that with Logan, and I figure osmosis will occur.
Do you
And I
think
think
that you're
a lot.
better at perceiving change in Logan? Or that, I mean, because they're definitely learning for sure.
Yeah,
Logan's what, 7 months now, 8 months?
7 months. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
dot. Yeah, I mean
But
he's learning. He knows his name. He's very
mhm,
attentive to sounds. He loves playing. He's a very intense listener. He's always got this real serious face listening.
yeah.
Loves his sister. Nothing entertains him more than watching his sister.
Well, when they pay attention, and yeah, even little babies, I always watch where they're focusing their eyes, and when they come out in the very beginning, they don't focus their eyes very much, but
Yeah,
gradually they develop a lot more focus and tracking, and I sort of imagine all these neuronal connections kind of happening as they sort of figure out what to focus on and how and what's going on in the world, and just this intense survival based what's
yeah,
going on out there kind of thing.
that's for sure. Yeah, that's what he's got. So he's doing great. He's easy, and it's been a real joy.
Does Alana talk with him and try to engage him?
Oh yeah. In fact, Friday, I thought I was gonna have a slow day, so I just didn't call in the babysitter. I wound up being extremely busy. I was
Hmm.
just on the phone the whole time, and I had a contract to kind of spit out quick. And
Yep.
Alana was a big help, and she watched, entertained, took care of her brother for the better part of 4 to 6 hours. I have to come and
Wow.
help and feed him and do things like that, but he's crying. Alana drops what she's doing and hangs out with him, engages him. He tips over and he's on his back and uncomfortable.
Yep.
Pick him up. He's on his belly for too long. She'd pick him up, and it's not easy. She weighs 42 pounds and he's 21 pounds, so she's having to deadlift 50% of her body weight. And
Right.
she's a champ. She's a real trooper. She takes a real strong interest and shows that she's a very loving, caring, and responsible child and sister.
Well, as you know, in traditional societies, young children would take care of even younger children. I think it was
Absolutely.
common for 4-year-olds to have significant child care responsibilities. I'm impressed that Alana could do it for 4 to 6 hours. That's way up there. But I think once upon a time it was really common, and I wonder if part of our kind of learned helplessness and irresponsibility in our society is that so many fewer young children have younger siblings, and then typically there is either daycare or nannies or parents
Yeah.
providing such intense care that they don't. I'm sure it's partly, Alana, partly the expectations and modeling you guys set, but that's fabulous. 4 to 6 hours of care for a 4-year-old is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and a lot of that time she's sitting next to Logan playing her iPad or drawing, and Logan's he's not doing a whole lot aside from trying to grab her pens and things. But so she's not like engaged them for 6 hours by any means. But I was in my office for the better part of 4 to 6 hours here and there, and didn't have to do a whole lot. Alana did everything but feed him and change his diaper. So
Yep. I once knew a woman who was the younger of 10 children, and she said she barely knew her parents, that her siblings basically did the whole show.
yeah,
You
can you
know,
imagine having 10 siblings? That's how it would work too.
exactly, exactly. So, what else is Alana up to? Is she reading a bit more, I imagine? Hey,
Well,
Alana.
let's ask her. Say hi. It's loud.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien.
You said.
Bien, maravillosa.
Yeah, well, so as usual, I keep getting busier, and I
Right.
really fear that I don't spend as much quality time teaching her to read and playing games in the last month or two that we were before. I carry set everywhere I go, and we played it at a few coffee shops. I started off just by getting her to practice recognizing the patterns fast. Like, what's this? 3 purple squiggles. What's that? 2 red diamonds. So she's getting really good at recognizing it. So hopefully that will spill over into when we actually play the game.
Yeah.
I would say Alana's growth is just that her reading is still getting better. She loves it. She takes interest in it. She's always sitting down with her own books and practicing words. I gotta say, one thing she struggles with is, you know, she's like, we asked her to spell Logan. And in her head, she goes, she spells Login, Logan.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And like, when I try and explain to her why there's silent words, there's silent letters, and exceptions to the rules, and irregular words and spellings in English, it's frustrating to her. Like, she wants rules. She wants order.
Did you explain to her that since she knows Spanish, that Spanish is so much better in that respect?
Yeah, I did. And so that's why she doesn't, like, she clearly understands Spanish. She can read a few words in Spanish. Like, I've had her read them, but it's not something that I've focused on because we don't have a whole lot of Spanish language books. We have some, but just kids' books. But because my Spanish is poor, looks like I may be doing some time in business in Mexico. So once again, I'll be the only person with a Spanish surname who doesn't speak Spanish, just like California.
Yeah, well, you know, in Spanish, the other thing are kind of songs and verses, little poems. Maybe you can get, you know, short little poems or songs, because I bet, you know, she would love them. And then, you know, if you look at them written, she can read along as she sings them, kind of thing.
Right. No, that's a good idea. But in general, her reading in English is getting a lot better. She's learned to memorize words. I mean, for a long time, she memorized the, as, and I, which is fair enough. But now she's memorized some phonic sounds like TH, SL, you know, PR.
Yep.
He recognizes them and doesn't have to spend so long sounding them out.
Yep.
And she's getting really good at building the whole word. For a while, like if there was a 6-letter word, she'd just sound out the first 3 letters and do it properly.
Right.
So it was a not a challenge, but it was a process to get her to recognize the whole word and read the whole word. And she's really doing a great job.
Yeah. Are there entire small books she can basically read out loud?
Yeah. So after we spoke last time, you said go and find a book even that has 1 word per page.
Right.
The simplest I could find was a book that has 3 or 4 words per page. And she hadn't read it in a while. Otherwise, she could have just guessed what the words were based on the photos.
Right.
But so she had it. And so she sounded out, you know, blue, shoes, red, hat, green, socks. And again, so except for the difficult exceptions and pronunciations and silent letters, she can read it. Like Alana has full confidence telling people that she can read. I can read. she'll tell a stranger. Watch.
Cool. Have you tried Dr. Zeus on her yet?
Oh yeah. I mean, we've been reading Dr. Seuss to her since day one.
Yeah. Which
isn't something that, for reasons unknown to me, I suppose I could ask my parents, but it's irrelevant to me. They weren't fans of Dr. Seuss. They didn't allow Dr. Seuss books. I never read Green Eggs and Ham until I had, like a nephew who had it when I was like in high school. And I don't know why.
A lot of them have pretty minimal. I mean, Green Eggs and Ham is pretty minimal vocabulary. So I would expect pretty soon Alana could handle reading Dr. Zeus.
Yeah, no, she loves Dr. Seuss. All the Places You'll Go is way up there on my list of favorite books of all time. Let me tell you what, that's like I read that to pump myself up when I'm reading to her.
There we go.
You know?
No, you should ask your parents why not Dr. Zeus, because I absolutely love his work.
Yeah, I would assume James Dobson told him it was bad juju, so they didn't. You know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Kind of
so set is developing and reading is developing. How about checkers? What's going on with checkers?
I lost the board game. I haven't played with her in a couple of weeks. Connect 4, checkers, and this other matching game that's a little bit more simple than set. So that's why I've been playing it. It was a little can. It's a game where it's got maybe 50 round cards, and each card has a large animal and then a number of smaller animals.
Right.
All the cards have one match with every other card. So it's a game to put them down side by side and spot the match first. It's not as difficult as set, but it's the same principle, I think. And Alana likes that game, and she's done well with it. It's
called Match?
No, it's a matching game.
Okay.
So it's similar to set in that the point is pattern recognition. It's just for 3-year-olds as opposed to 6
You know,
to 9.
I'm thinking we should kind of develop, a curriculum. So on the one hand, there's a reading curriculum, simple to hard, a Spanish curriculum, a math curriculum, a game curriculum, because we're all kind of doing this ad hoc. And but it sounds like you found a cool prerequisite to set, so to speak, so that she can have fun and play this other game and get ready for set.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I would love a simple curriculum for these things, because ad hoc is great, but a lot of my life is ad hoc, and in hindsight, I should have planned it. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to make that same ongoing, pattern with Alana.
Well, maybe when you're done, send me the name of this other game, and all the Connect Four, maybe a list of games you're playing with her,
Okay.
and maybe one sentence age appropriate. Maybe set as a bit of a stretch, but in checkers, she can do King Me and all of that. She can.
Yeah, no, she understands it. She knows that you have to have a queen or king in order to go backwards, and every time I play checkers with her, she gets better.
Yeah.
We were at a coffee shop the other day, and their checker set was missing a bunch of pieces. So I did what you said. I just took off half my board.
Yeah.
And we played a game. That's actually the last time that we played checkers, was at the coffee shop up on 5th. But I've just been busy, Mike, and we'll get back in a better groove soon. I had a lot of traveling come up unexpectedly the last couple of months. I was in Seattle and New York, short notice, and then
summer's crazy. Summer's crazy for everyone.
Yeah.
So, in light of keeping this short, but so, I do think that we're developing. So I think we've got two things going. Is kind of, three things. On the one hand, we're articulating, I think, a wonderful path of development for Alana and Logan, which I hope other people find valuable. And we're kind of talking about the practices. Second, we're developing a list of materials, games and so forth, books. And then third, actually, we're kind of documenting Alana's development. So hopefully, Facebook will keep, or Google will keep these things available. So years from now, you guys can go back and look at, where Alana was along the way.
Yeah. No, it'll be fascinating, and I'll probably look back and laugh at why I was, so personally worried or whatnot. But Alana's a great person. I can't tell you, she's a nice little friend to other people, but she's great with adults. People love her, like her to be around. She picked up swearing from me, of course. But she uses the word so perfectly. I'm very impressed.
For me, it is always appropriateness. Actually at our school, my co-founder was a little bit shocked that sometimes students use profanity. He says, "Are you going to allow that?" There's a notion that at schools you're not supposed to. And for me, it is. Is it used appropriately? And there are some times where it's a certain sort of emphatic expression. Okay. Other times when it's kind of gratuitous and vulgar and not okay. And I like the idea of developing judgment about. I'm not picky one way or another. I don't care if people ever or do or don't. But, if you're going to use those, expressions, let's do it in a civilized way, so to speak.
Yeah, sparingly and well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we had to talk about that. We're like, look, Alana, these are useful words. Daddy uses them at times. There are times and places and people that I try not to use them, and here's why. And,
yeah.
I asked her that if she uses those words, it's only with me. And it's like our thing.
Perfect.
And I also explained it's not a substitute for other adjectives. It's not a substitute for a vocabulary or for expressing your feelings.
Did she seem to grok all this?
Yeah, to some extent. You talk to Alana long enough, and she starts looking at squirrels.
Right. So this is probably the sort of thing that it'll take kind of years, but
it'll sink in.
with years it'll sink in. Well, again, in honor of keeping it short, I'm going to let you go, and then let's try again next week and try to get back regular.
I'll be here.
Okay,
Thanks,
good to talk to you, Ryan. Bye-bye.
Bye.